at the same time, there are doings at Amazon, and this is pretty interesting as well. Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen, ironically from a Washington Post reporter who is quite a good labor reporter, though, Lauren Gurley, for Bezos's paper there. So she says, scoop, Amazon has suspended 50 warehouse workers. The number I saw this morning is actually 80 now, and union organizers who participated in a work stoppage last night in Staten Island following a fire. That suspension occurs less than 10 days out from a union election at an Amazon warehouse in Albany, she says. So basically what happened here, this is the warehouse that is now organized, which, means that workers have more of a say, then they have more power in their workplace, and they feel themselves able to band together and assert their demands for their own safety and working conditions. So a significant fire broke out at a trash compactor. And let's go ahead and show, we have Chris Smalls tweeted this out. Let's take a look.
Oh, shit. Evacuate, let me go get my dad. Yo!
Okay, so for those of you who are just watching, you can see the fire, you can see, the conveyor belts and everything at the Amazon warehouse, and you can see these workers freaking out and saying, we gotta evacuate. They were evacuated. The day shift workers were told they could go, and the night shift workers, though, were told they have to go back to work. These workers did not feel that it was safe. There were a lot of toxic fumes in the air. They found it very difficult ultimately to breathe. And so let's go ahead and put this next piece up on the screen. So they went forward with a work stoppage. Amazon says it was a small group of workers. Reports say that it was somewhere between 100 and 650 workers who participated in this wildcat sit-down strike, marched to the manager's office to deliver demands, and now some sizable portion of them have been suspended, all because they found the working conditions unsafe and did not want to continue. At the same time, there have now been, and put this up on the screen from Jordan, there was another fire down at an Amazon warehouse in Alabama. And then just this morning, he texted me, there was another fire. This one in, I believe this is in Albany, that the latest fire was as well. So, what the hell is going on here ultimately with these workers being put at risk? Why can you not keep these facilities safe? Why can you not listen to the workers? And then why are you retaliating in this way against workers who were actually told by a manager, and this is recorded on video, Stephen Greenhouse tweeting this out this morning, were actually told, if you feel unsafe, you can go home. And then they say, okay, we're not going back to work, and then they're suspended.
Wow, so they're literally getting effectively retaliated against for not wanting to be around chemical fires whenever they're at work.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
the video speaks for itself, in my opinion, which is there's literally, the place is on fire. It's terrifying. They also don't necessarily have very good workplace protections. Some of these people are on a contract basis, so it's not like they're gonna get they don't have the benefits or the fallbacks that a lot of others do. Also, we should know, we're entering the holiday season-ish whenever things ramp up significantly. I think Amazon and Walmart and all their other seasonal workforce explodes by 40% or something in these times in order to keep up with demand. So what type of training do they have? They're around unsafe equipment. It will always highlight to me of, there's a cost. I go on Amazon and it's it can be delivered to you today. And I'm like, wow, that's nuts. And I'm like, well, this is why. This is the reason why.
Yeah, because of all the corners they cut. And it's also really clear here, they want to send a message to not just these workers who dared defy them and unionize, but also to all of the other Amazon warehouses around the country that are thinking of unionizing. And that warehouse in Albany, their election is mere days away. So they've indefinitely suspended, according to Amazon Labor Union's lawyer, at least 80 workers for not returning to work. That, again, in spite of the fact that there was a fire with chemicals in the air, and an Amazon manager on video told the workers, if you feel unsafe, please leave. So that's how they treat their workers there.
It's so terrible. It really is. And I also think it's a media story in that, look, props, I guess, to this Washington Post person for bringing this up. But in general, we just spend so little we spend time litigating media corporation beefs with each other. We spend time reading about like 5 people in a tech company who feel unsafe because an email goes. And I'm not going to say that's not important. Like, sure, you know, I enjoy reading them for like Schadenfreude perspectives, but Amazon is the second largest employer in the United States, very on track to become one of the largest.
Yes.
And the day-to-day experience of most people in their jobs is not represented in media. And I think that is like the meta level of like why it's so important to look at this, which is that most people who work in white collar have never even been in an experience where a fire is possible at work. And if there was, they'd have like an HR training session where they're like listening to each other about how traumatic the entire thing was. Here, they're like, screw you, get back to work.
Yeah. Right after the fire.
Imagine, I don't think
back in there.
I don't think most white collar workers have ever been in a situation like that.
The reason we've always covered Amazon almost obsessively is because it is so ignored, but also because it's like as important to the U.S. economy as the U.S. government is. I mean, it really is. The number of people they employ, the way it shapes the economy, the way it shapes their tax laws, the way, you know, the way they lobby for the perks that they want, the way they reshape the towns themselves and cities themselves is so incredibly significant to all of our lives and certainly to working class people. So another sign of the way they treat their workforce. And look, I think it's also an important lesson too and why it matters to have a union, because now these workers, there will be a grievance process. They won't be just like out of luck and that's that. They'll be able to have some sort of concerted effort to fight back here. And even the fact that they felt bold enough, like there's probably no other Amazon warehouse in the country where they would have had the boldness to actually band together and say, hey, this isn't right. We're not going back to work. This isn't safe. That all comes from having that solidarity together.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.